Well, good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. If it's a holiday for you, I hope you're going to enjoy the day off. Let some notifications click in. Do a little sound check. I'm going to check my mic. As far as I know, everything looks like it's working okay. So hopefully everybody can hear me. Go into chat and say hello. Eddie, if you're still here, how are you? Good morning. Paul. Thanks for lurking, Paul. Hi, right back to you. Paul says they're lurking. They're going to get coffee and lurking. So thanks for lurking, Paul. Mr. Sentinel. Yes, that is an actual picture with Barrett standing next to Gunderson. Sure is. That's the one. Mm-hmm. Yep. Who else did I see in here? Meg P, how you doing? Good morning. Thanks for being here. Anybody else I missed? I'm sorry. Good morning, Ro. How you doing? All right. P Fox, hello. Swampside Chick, good morning. Thanks for being here. Justice, how you doing? All right. Well, hopefully everybody can hear me today. Julianne, thanks for being here. Caroline, how you doing? Good morning. School teacher, Julianne, off today with the kiddos? Well, enjoy your day off. It's a snow day here, so, soup, hot chocolate. That's what we're doing. Amy, how you doing? Getting prepared for your third hip replacement. Oh boy. Well, sending all the good vibes your way, darling. That sucks, huh? Hopefully everything works out and goes good for you. Too fast for fleas. How you doing? Thanks for being here. So yeah, I know I made a community post the other day about lots of things on my mind. Maybe doing like a data dump from my brain, but it's a lot of the dates, right? So that's why I titled the live here, November 13th to the 22nd, What did police learn in those first 9 days? What can we decipher from what they knew based on their warrants and what went out first in the order it went out? I too went and got a coffee. Yep. Quad espresso, shaken on ice. That's what we're doing today. All right, so let me know. Eddie, I know you're here. Meg, friends, is my audio okay? I noticed when I go back and listen, sometimes my audio is really choppy. So I did a couple of things with the mic here, and hopefully that resolved a few things. Hopefully it's not too choppy. So anyways, Mercy Cat, good morning. Hello, pretty kitty. How you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Everybody put a bunch of kitty emojis in the chat here for Mercy Cat. Mercy Cat's one of my biggest supporters behind the scenes. I just want you all to know that. And amazing. Incredibly intelligent, smart person who knows a lot about a lot. And we love Mercy Cat. Audio is perfect today. Perfect. Thank you so much, Julie. Quality Emerald. Love your name. Great name, by the way. All right, good. Audio is good. All right, wonderful. So yeah, we're just going to discuss a few things and then we'll go through some documents. But I've been thinking a lot, and these are just my opinions, just some of the random thoughts that go through my brain. When you kind of strip away, take everything away, mainstream media, families, interviews, all of it, just strip everything away. And you go back and you look and you see what law enforcement was doing, What information did law enforcement learn that led them to believe they needed to get the warrants they got in the order they got them? Jeff H., how you doing? Good morning. Thanks for being here. Make sure, Jeff, that you leave some kitty emojis in the chat for Mercy Cat. If you're popping in to say hello, Mercy Cat needs as many kitty emojis as you can fit in there. So anyways, when you kind of go back and you look at dates of everything, right? Amy Law. Yeah, I know. I got that Southern draw still stuck on it. I spent half my life down south. So even though I'm technically a Northeasterner, right? And a lot of people in the Northeast have that accent, right? Where they don't pronounce their R's, right? Everything is ka, ba, sta. I saw the stars. I say I saw the stars. And when I say law, for some reason, when I say law, it has that like, I can't get rid of the Southern draw that's on it. A Convict's Thoughts with A.R. Hayes. Thanks. Good morning. Thanks so much for being here. Mercy Cat. Jeff is your biggest fan, huh? Well, that's good. Hopefully Jeff's going to leave you as many kitty emojis as he can possibly fit in the little comment box there. We love Mercy Cat. Mercy Cat is very, very, very intelligent. Mercy Cat also has a PhD. Mercy Cat also knows a lot about a lot. So, I know a lot of times we think the people in the YouTubes and in the comments maybe are just stupid people, but many of them aren't. They're incredibly intelligent. Yeah, you can hear my Southern drawl, Amy. Every now and then, too, when I get really upset, like it'll come out and I'll just be like, oh, hell no, they didn't. No, they did. But anyways, so yeah. Where was I? Lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, warrants. You don't have a cat on your emoji choices, Jeff? Oh, that's interesting. You have a little bar to search emoji. You better find Jeff. I'm kidding. I'm just, yeah. All right. So anyways, warrants. That's where I was getting. Now, it's just my opinion and just the random what they like to call tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. That's fine. The thoughts in my brain. And when you go back and you look at the timeline, right? So I'm looking. It's very interesting when you look from the day of the crime going right to about the 21st, 22nd. Truth and Justice, True Crime with Anna D. Good morning. Thanks so much for being here. Sorry. Amazing Dead Man 24. Good morning. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. So anyways, the way that my thoughts are on this, right? And I'm nobody. These are just my thoughts, my opinions. I'm cutting out figures, of course, every time I start talking about anything important. We start getting to dates and timelines and warrants. Oh, all of a sudden my mic is like, no, bitch, you're not allowed to talk. Damn spooks. I'm kidding. Let me adjust my tinfoil hat real quick. So anyways, what I was saying was, starting from November 13th, right up until about November 21st. And we can go back and look at the dates on some of these warrants, when they were applied for, when they were submitted. Interesting, Eddie. Let me see here. Let me do something real quick. Let's do that. Let's do that. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. I don't know why it's cutting in and out. It shouldn't be at all. The emoji. There it is. You got it, Jeff. It's in there. I see all you little kitties. Thanks. Appreciate all of you. If you put Mercy Cat. All right. So anyways, if my audio keeps cutting in and out, I don't know what else to say because I've adjusted everything. Volume's up. Okay. So hopefully we're not going to have too many issues. Kara, darling, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time of day it is where you are. All right. So as I was saying, November 13th to right around November 22nd appear to be key days as to when not only evidence is collected in the home, but it appeared to be when many warrants go out. Thanks, Ro. Thanks, Eddie. Okay, we're good now, hopefully. So the earliest warrant that I could find, let me make sure that I share this with you. Make sure I got my dates here. Yeah. I'm going to share screen together. And where I got this to seal and redact T-Mobile. So hopefully everybody can see this good, right? Initially, I thought the Reddit warrant was the first one they got. I think it was like November 19th is when they did Reddit. We'll go and look at everything. But it would appear that it's actually T-Mobile they did first. Yet again, Lawrence Mowery refers to himself as the affidavit because they're just copying and pasting everything. So now we know, and I just want to sidebar here. I know for a fact that a student in school, any of you teachers out there know that AI has been developed so that the teachers can run the students' submissions for their assignments. It's a, book report, whatever it is, to ensure that they're not plagiarizing. Okay. It's literally to ensure that there isn't copying and pasting happening. And these students will get in trouble. They can get expelled and shit for copying and pasting and plagiarizing things. So, that's just my little sidebar comment on that. When it comes to the copying and pasting, I didn't realize how prevalent of a problem it actually was for these officers to just be copying and pasting shit in their sworn documents. It's wild. It's wild to me. You're swearing to something upon, under the penalty of perjury. And yet, for some reason, you're just allowed to copy and paste somebody else's shit. So I don't know. That's just my sidebar little comment on that. It boggles my mind that a student in school isn't allowed to copy and paste something for a project or for an assignment because the AI will detect that they copied and pasted. But yet the police don't have something developed, some kind of AI software happening to where the officers can't just copy and paste. It's like, these motherfuckers use Chat GPT to solve the crime. I mean, I'm just being a smartass and snarky, but you know what I mean. Like, the kids can't use Chat GPT for school. They can't copy and paste. They can't just plagiarize somebody else's work. So I don't understand why they're allowed to do this, but whatever. That's just it's just my sidebar here. We have yet again Lawrence Mowery referring to himself as the affidavit. It says here the affidavit has been a trained and qualified peace officer for 12 years. It says on November 16th, 2022, he obtained a search warrant for T-Mobile. The warrant was served on the 17th. Okay. So from what I can see on the dates, this is the first. I know a lot of people thought the first thing to go out was her Reddit, but that Reddit he sat on till December 1st. Looks like this is actually one of the first warrants that went in. Good morning, Audrey, darling. How are you? Thanks for being here. So happy to see you. And now, don't listen to anything I say, by the way. No facts here. I don't know shit. I am not a lawyer. I am not law enforcement. I'm just, from what I can see, based on documentation of what we've been able to get from these warrants, it looks like this T-Mobile warrant is the first warrant that was applied for. Now, it is my understanding there were two back to back. There were. The first one is the one I'm showing you, about to open up the second one, because the second one, I believe, was also applied for on the same day. So let me go and look here. November 16th. Yes. Okay. So here in that one. And I will share this one with you. T-Mobile warrants that went out, and they're both for the same day. For no, let's make sure that I think so. Yeah, as you can see here, us the date that it was signed, November 16th. The other one that I just showed you, also November 16th. Notice too that the search warrant probable cause consists of records and associated with certain cell towers. So this is a tower dump, right? These are their dumps. Is that because the way that them is actually for phone numbers? One of them dumps. I could be wrong, but it looks like right around is when they first did anything, and it has to do with T-Mobile and this, right? So let's stop sharing that. November 17th. Returned on the 18th. Oopsie, maybe I gotta share this with you again. Sorry. Okay. So yeah. Looks like November 16th, he gets the T-Mobile call data records. Okay. The warrant was served via Snapchat law enforcement portal on the 17th. He received an email with the requested data. On the 18th, he downloaded the data, and the inventory was prepared for all the items received. So on November 16th, he obtains a warrant for the T-Mobile call data records, but the warrant was served the next day via Snapchat. So this is when they're getting their snaps, right? So let's stop sharing that for a second. Bring up the Snapchats. And we'll go through the Snapchats. Warrants. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Sorry if you can't. You got to let me know if my audio is still cutting out pretty bad. Hopefully it's not. So now when you go look at these warrants for Snapchat here, we have 2. Okay. This first one, November 21st, tells you here, I highlighted it. It's somewhere down here where I highlighted everything. 12/5. Here we go. So now, he says here, this day showing probable cause establishing grounds for issuing a search warrant and probable cause to believe there is information regarding the crimes of homicide on the Snap accounts of Xana, Kaylee, Ethan, redacted, and redacted with the following identifiers, redacted. And he believes that information, probable cause to believe information regarding the crimes of homicide, is going to be in their Snapchats. Okay? And he's asking for the information August 1st to November 20th. Now, the reason that I say that's interesting is because right after they do the T-Mobile dump, they serve the T-Mobile warrant via Snapchat, they then do these warrants through Snapchat, claiming that information regarding the crimes of homicide are going to be on the Snap accounts of these victims and redacted. And it's funny because it says Xana, Kaylee, Ethan, and then all these redacted. But I'll show you the other Snap warrant. Let's stop sharing that. And I'll show you the other one. The other Snap warrant is for Maddie. And it has her name listed for it too. I believe it's this one. Yeah, the 21st. Yet again, he calls himself the affidavit. It's served on the 21st. He gets it back on the 29th from Snapchat. And I believe this is the one where it's all highlighted, where it shows that it's, yeah, right here, Maddie. So they did a separate one for Maddie here. Same dates, though, August 1st to November 19th. Actually, the other ones, I think, say November 20th. But either way, if you notice, so all the dates here, right? It's very interesting that they did these warrants separate, like one for Maddie on its own, okay? In my opinion. I'll stop sharing that. Let me come back over here to chat. Close out some of these tabs. I notice when I have a lot of tabs open too, my stuff will cut out. So let me just close out some of these. Sorry, we could bring them back up if we need to. So, now, the reason why I am very, very interested in the dates of these warrants is because it would appear that from November 13th through right around November 22nd-ish, all information, everything police learned in that first 9 days led them to believe. So now, if you notice, I want to make sure I put this the way my brain is thinking it. If you go back to the beginning and you just look at everything from the beginning, it would look like from the 13th to right around the 22nd, all information that law enforcement obtained via the crime scene, statements from the survivors, downloads, forensic downloads of phones, speaking with families, speaking with whoever. I mean, it would appear based on the warrants that they believed all of the information related to the crimes of homicide that happened in this house would be found within the victims. It would be found in their data. It would be found in their accounts, phone accounts, Snapchats, Reddit. When you go back and look at the dates, it's very interesting. Right around the 16th is when they're, and the Reddit warrant they sat on till December 1st because Snapchats and T-Mobile had earned by then. So it's very interesting when saying we need to know exactly how you got Brian. Go back and you look in the beginning what information you had in the first, say, 2 weeks of the crime. There's nothing in that information, as far as the defense can see, that would have led them to Brian. Right? I know. I'm talking about the first 9 days. I'm almost positive they didn't have sheath DNA results within the first 9 days of the crime. Need some Z's. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Jeff, stop making excuses for them to type the word affiant. My iPhone's word suggestion top hit is affidavit. Well, I mean, don't make excuses for them. They're copying and pasting shit, which is why it continues to say affidavit as the affidavit, because nobody even bothered to proofread or spell check or anything, which is fine. Whatever. The point that I'm getting at here, though, Leslie and Billy, hi, how you doing? I guess the way that I'm looking at it is that, my brain is saying, okay, in the first... Dinky. Dinky, hi, thanks so much for being here. He just took the oath, 47 is in, all right. I was going to play a song, but I don't think I can. I'll probably get a copyright strike. But anyways, so IgG results in the first 3 days of the crime. They knew November 16th they needed the tower dump, T-Mobile records, and they needed Snapchat. And then from that information, they said, right? If you go back and look at the dates on everything, and I'm sure there's someone out there who's printed everything off in logical date order. I wish I had the time or the energy to everything off and put it in order by date for when they were put in, when they were returned. When was the information returned and in what chronological order? So these are just the random thoughts that I have out of my brain, right? Everything in the first 9 days of this crime did not lead them to Kohberger. It led them to the victims. And I'm not saying that to victim blame or anything like that. I'm just saying it would, take all the emotional stuff out of it. Just look at it logically. What the police were doing. What were the police doing in the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? First week. It would appear that the first, 9 days, everything they learned told them information related to these homicides is going to be found in the Snapchats of the victims, in their phone records, right? Just saying. So that's pretty interesting to me, because then it makes you say, okay, like everybody's saying, okay, everybody's saying how they get to bring a major question that the defense has been asked. Tell us exactly how you got his name. And it, according to the tip, would appear based on the discovery, this was a tip from an IGG tip, right? Well, if that's the case, they had their tip pretty early, because the federal grand jury subpoena for Brian's Amazon, if I remember correctly, is December 6th. Right? So that would mean they had his name before December 6th. That would mean IGG is not the origin. Right? I'm just talking out loud. Just my brain. But if the feds were getting a grand jury subpoena on his Amazon, and when you go back and you look at the motion to suppress the Amazon, I believe that's the one where Logsdon is referencing how what the feds were looking for in his Amazon. Or maybe it was the Google. I can't remember which. I'll have to go back and look. But if I remember correctly, something about the location of a single decedent. They were using his account to somehow get the location on a single decedent. There was language like that, right? So my question is how, if IGG is not the origin, okay, even though the defense, for whatever reason, thinks that based on the discovery they're looking at, it would appear IGG is the origin, but it's not, because if your feds were getting a subpoena on December 6th, that means they got his name prior to December 6th, prior to the first week of December. So that's interesting. Right? What did the feds know to December 6th for them to get that subpoena and issue that subpoena? It's just weird. It's very weird. Yeah, you get what I'm saying, right, Eddie? Right? If the feds were already getting subpoenas for his Amazon December 6th, then IGG can't be the origin. I don't even think they put in for IGG until what, mid-December? Something like that. According to the paperwork, would have been, December, I want to say. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just very, very strange that you would have feds getting grand jury subpoenas before the first week of December. They had information, there's something that they learned from somewhere or someone, there's something that they learned from their warrants, in my opinion, in the first 9 days of this crime, for whatever reason. So I know I've kind of alluded to it before, and I spoke about it before. If there is a connection, right, why would the state hide that connection to the point that the defense believes, based on discovery, there isn't one? You understand? It would appear the feds know, and how they know that, they're not giving it up. To the point that the defense even believes in the discovery. There's no connection. The point that I'm getting at is clearly feds had his name pretty early on. And they were investigating him to the point that they were getting subpoenas behind the scenes for, his Amazon and stuff. So it's just very interesting when you look at the dates and you look at what law enforcement was doing. And it almost looks like feds maybe weren't sharing with MPD, or maybe they weren't working as cohesively as everyone thought. Oops, sorry, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Hold, please. All right, so sorry. Let me get to some of my comments here. So yeah, hopefully, you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying he did anything. I'm not saying he didn't. This is how my brain works. I'm looking at the dates. I'm looking at the order of things, right? The order of how things were done between Moscow police, feds, right? We know that we've gotten to learn some of the information about what the feds were doing, federal subpoenas that were going out, right? It's very, very interesting that feds knew who he was and were getting subpoenas pretty early. Pretty early. That's interesting to me. Tonka, how you doing? Thanks for being here. So this is just kind of, my brain when we look at things. So like this, for instance, right? This is December 1st, 2022. He's getting a warrant for just Kaylee, right? That's on December 1st. And then on December 6th, you have the feds going into to get a warrant for his Amazon. 5 days after they got the warrant for her phone. Yeah, exactly, Kara, right? Right. I don't know. That's what I mean. I'm not exactly sure why. But what I can tell you is that from November 13th to right around the 22nd, all their warrants pertain to basically just the victims, only the victims, their Snapchat, and then your tower dump. And then whatever they learned from that led them to believe that on December 1st, so notice he applied for her Reddit on December 1st because he got it on the 20th, I believe. So on 11/20, Mowery gets the warrant for her Reddit, but he sits on it till December 1st. And then on December 1st, as you can see right here, boom, he goes and puts in the warrant for her phone and her Reddit. Same time, same day. And then by December 6th, the feds are doing their subpoena for his stuff. So it's, it is what it is. I don't know what the answer is here. I just know that something is off. There's something missing. There's a key piece missing here. And it would appear that the state or the feds or both are aware of what that key piece is. And for some reason, they just, I don't know why they wouldn't want to share it. I don't know why you wouldn't want to share how you got to him. Because based on the timeline, it looks like you got to him through her. But yet his defense claims there's no connection. So if the connection is through her, why would you want to hide that if you're the state, right? He would know. Brian would know if he has a connection to her. I feel like he'd spit it out. His defense team likely already knows. I have no idea. Doesn't it just seem very strange? Based on all the dates, based on when you go in chronological order, it would appear they knew his name before the first, and then whatever they obtained, by the 6th, the Fed said, okay, let's get his Amazon. That's interesting, right? And allegedly they're in his Amazon because they're digging to see if he bought a knife, right? And if I remember correctly, the motion to suppress Amazon, talking about a single decedent, was it that one? Where's for fuck's sake Fitziana? She knows all this. Let me go dig here. Sorry, I'm going to leave my comment section for a minute because now I can't remember. I believe it's in the motion to suppress Amazon where the language of a single decedent is mentioned. And now my brain won't let it go until I go find it. So hang on, let me go find all the motions to suppress. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the Amazon one. Where the hell are they all? Here we go. Amazon. There it is. I believe this is the one with the language of a single decedent. Let me share with you, friends. Chat right this second. I'm so sorry. I'm going to share this with you. All right. If I remember correctly, yes. So December 30th, January 27th. Let's see. Okay, here we go. It's for the motion to suppress Amazon. Facts. Pennsylvania law enforcement, along with officers from Idaho and the FBI, raided Mr. Koberger's parents' home on the 30th. At some point, an FBI agent subpoenaed Amazon records belonging to Mr. Koberger. Footnote 1. Is that where it was done? Let's see. Order on defendant's 4th and 5th motion to compel. June 14th, the state has done neither. The issues in the memorandum are among the reasons a copy of the subpoenas are necessary. It is unclear what the subpoena asked for or its scope. The subpoena return identifies 2 iCloud accounts. We'll get there, friends. We'll get there. And you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. Because, if I remember correctly, is it down here? Sorry, I'm looking for something. Actually, let me just search the document real quick. Single. not in the Amazon. Is it in the Google one? This is why I need Fitzy. She remembers this stuff. Single decedent language. This is Amazon. Maybe it's in the Google. Stop sharing that. Let's go look at the Google one. Pen, trap, and trace. Son of a bitch. I think that's the one it's in, isn't it? Friends. Is it in the pen, trap, and trace? Sorry, my brain's not going to let it go. Might be in the Google. We'll just do a word search real quick. Is it in this one? Nope. Bet you it's in that pen, trap, and trace one. I know it's somewhere, damn it. I'll find it. Hang on. Pen, trap, and trace. I think this is the one that it's in. Yeah, I think it's in this one. December 23rd, Corporal Payne of the... Okay, it might be this one. See, that's the problem. I can't remember, right? You read so many documents. I can't remember which document I read it, but I do know that there is language of a single decedent in one of these damn things, and they were digging in his account, claiming they needed the warrant because of they're trying to gain the location of a single decedent. Yeah. December 23rd, requested a warrant to search the contents of Mr. Koberger's AT&T account between November 12th and the 14th. CSLI, la 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 la. Let's find it. Because I know it's in here, damn it. Audrey, if you're still in here, which document has the language of single decedent? I remember even sharing it in my community tab. You look in chat. Somebody in chat must know. So I don't have to sit here digging, because I can't remember which one it's in. Anyways, the point that I'm getting at here is that it would appear they had his name before IGG, I guess. It's kind of the point that I'm getting here at. However, it would, for some reason, the defense saying IGG is the origin, right? That's very interesting, because if you look at the grand jury subpoenas and the dates of those things. Hi, Jack. How you doing? So the point that I'm getting at is that from the day of the crime to right around December 1st, it would appear they had his name very early, right? Now, if that's true, why would they want to hide that? There aren't many reasons that the state would want to hide from the defense what the connection is, if there is one, right? How would a victim Snapchat or Reddit or whatever lead them to Brian? And if it did, why not just say it? Yeah, we dumped their cell phone stuff. We found their messages. Boom, yada, 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 bing, bang, done, right? Cammie, how you doing? Thanks for being here. It just appears that there's, for whatever reason, I don't know why, they don't want to share the connection. And it would appear It would appear everything they learned in the first 9 days of this crime had them focusing solely on victims, not an outsider, which is weird. Oh, you like my little shopping videos, Leslie and Billy? Thanks. I figure I'm already there. I spend way too much of my time shopping, actually, and in stores. But, I love Dollar Tree. I've been shopping at Dollar Tree for, 20 plus years. And if you had told me 10 years ago that there are people on YouTube right now that's literally their entire job is they just hit Dollar Trees and share their stuff. And it's wild to me. I never in a million years would have thought that would be someone's actual job, but here we are. It's not my job, but hey, I would turn it into one if I could. Heck yeah. I'm not even joking you. What? Wait a minute. I can just make videos of me shopping and tens of thousands of people will watch it? Okay. Well, I'm already there anyway. Sure, I'll share my shopping hauls with you. Okay. I love shopping anyway. His theory. I don't know his theory, Mr. Sentinel. Listen, I have a lot of people who say, oh my God, you need to go watch him. You need to go listen to him. Blah, 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 blah. I don't have time. There's a couple of people I watch, and outside of that, I'm not going down too many rabbit holes. You know what I mean? I got my own fucking brain full of rabbit holes here. I don't need other people's. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at the dates. I'm looking at the dates of everything. I'm looking at what law enforcement were doing the first week, the first 2 weeks. What were they learning? The information that they were obtaining from students, parents, friends, faculty, sororities, frats, crime scene, whatever. Cell tower dumps, cell phone information, Snapchats, all of these things. What were they learning? And where was that information leading them? That's kind of what, I'm getting at here. We're talking the first 9, 10, 12 days of the crime. It would appear the information that they learned led them to believe the first thing they needed to do was the cell data, the tower dump, and Snapchat, which is very interesting. Hey, Sky, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Let me see your question. Hi, Miss Potts and Chatterati. What is the deal with Brian's involvement with Pullman PD? He applied to work with them. Another creator said he'd even done a ride along with them. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I found something that I wanted to share a week ago, and I don't know. I think if I do, it actually doesn't look very, I don't know. I was debating on sharing it. I was debating on playing it, but it's very interesting. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Looked on judge's order, Tyson Farley. Yeah, I don't know how Brian would be connected to Tyson Farley, but you never know, right? I don't think Tyson Farley has anything to do with it, but that's just my opinion. I am of the opinion, the very strong opinion, that this was not an outsider. That's just my opinion. I don't believe for a second this was an outsider. I think this is someone very, very, very close. Someone who definitely watched their house all the time, actually. That's what I think. But that's just my opinion. How was he identified? I don't know about the two unsung heroes, Curtis Whitman and Daniel Tiengo. I don't know about them being unsung heroes, but yeah, you know, I don't think I don't think that at all. I don't think they're unsung heroes. I want to know why Curtis Whitman, who works days, is out there roaming around at 1 o'clock in the morning looking at plates, right? Looking for Elantras. I could understand Tiengo being out there, but Whitman works days. Or he did. I think he retired recently too, right? But yeah. Sherry, how you doing? Good morning. Thanks for being here. Well, good afternoon. It's afternoon now. TFSCI allegedly. Well, that's what I mean. I don't know. I'm not even getting into, the whole rabbit hole of Aryan Knights, Aryan Brotherhood, blah, 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 blah. If that is true, okay, great. We'll give you the pats on the backs and the attaboys and the whatever, Like I've said before, I'm not here to try to pretend I know more than someone else or that I've solved anything because it's not our job. It's not our job, actually. So what I will say is that, it's very interesting that within the first 9 days of this crime, it would appear all information led them inward, not outward. And yet somehow they still went outward, not inward. And it would appear this is a thing in Idaho that they do a lot, where most investigations start at the innermost circle and work their way out. You're always going to start with the closest, innermost people first and work your way out. They kind of, it almost looks like they focus solely on the actual victims. And then from there, oh yeah, here we go. It's Brian. That's his name right there. That's the guy. But yet, for some reason, they are fine with the defense thinking IGG is the origin. Why is that? The defense knows IGG isn't the origin. If they know that a grand jury subpoena was issued for his Amazon, December 6th, first week of December, the feds are already issuing a subpoena for his Amazon, then they know IGG wasn't the origin, or they're lying about the date of the IGG being done. Furthermore, why would the FBI need to do IGG for MPD when ISP contracts with Othram? You wouldn't need the feds to take that sample to a private lab for you because you already contract with the private lab, right? Anybody understand the question I'm asking here? Do you see why I say it would appear the feds maybe weren't as cohesive with MPD as everybody thought they were? Because it doesn't make any sense that ISP contracts with Othram, and yet allegedly the feds had to send out for this IGG first, right? Allegedly. That's very interesting. I don't know why you need to do that if you contract with the lab that does IGG. It's almost like the feds wanted their own. It's almost like the feds were conducting their own separate investigation parallel to whatever MPD were doing. And they weren't sharing a lot of their results with MPD. That's what it looks like. When you actually go back and look at what MPD was doing, and then you see some of the information that's trickled out in these motions to suppress about what feds were doing and when they were doing it. It's very interesting. I mean, could be, Steve. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Well, exactly, Sky. Right. Bingo. That's the thing that bugs me, right? Because if, why would you hide how you got to him? There's only a couple reasons you're going to hide how you got to him. One, you did it illegally or unconstitutionally, right? Or there's something much bigger at play here behind the scenes. I don't know. I've heard his defense say that it's a privilege. They believe it's a privilege to represent Brian. That's interesting for someone to say that, you know? But a lot of the stuff that they've said when they said, we believe, Your Honor, Brian is innocent. And it's a privilege to represent him. A lot of this was said months and months ago. Now there's been more stuff disclosed. They've received what they needed from feds. Right, Tonka. Bingo. See, I know your brain is getting where I'm going. Right. It would appear feds were already looking at something. Prior to this crime even happening, feds were already there, monitoring something else. Maybe that's, I don't know, but that's kind of what it looks like. It really does look like before this crime even happened, feds were already in that town, between the two towns. Looks like feds were already monitoring Pullman and Moscow, or maybe not monitoring them, working with their task forces, something. I'm not sure, but for you to have 2 BAU on scene, like immediately, what, within 48 hours, 24 hours, something like that? You're bringing in agents out of Salt Lake City, Utah? Thank you. I love you too, honey. Why, that's the other thing. Are you bringing in all these federal agents from Utah, all these other places? Don't you have your own FBI field offices right there? You have multiple FBI field offices all around you in your state. And yet you need to call in these people. I think we saw Montana plates at the house from law enforcement. We see Salt Lake City, Utah. It's interesting, right? Oh, Plow Guy's here. So, these are just my random thoughts. It's probably not nothing big, nothing crazy, no big booms. Just a little data dump from my brain, kind of looking at dates and looking at what everybody was doing. And yeah, Lewiston, Clarkston, Spokane. So yeah, it's just weird that they needed some field agents out of Salt Lake City, Utah. What against? Well, yeah, WSU, I know, had all that stuff going on. But either way, yeah, exactly, Kara. If I remember correctly, it was by the final total, something like 96 agents on the case, right? 60 plus of them are feds, 2 BAU. That's wild. That's wild. And even if it is just for one guy, right? I mean, I don't know. It does seem very strange. That's just my questions. My questions are, if there is a connection, why are you hiding it? And if you had his name early December, why are you hiding that? Just say why, right? Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Sentinel. Right. Something is very, 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 very funny here. And something tells me that the defense has been able to get everything they need to be able to prove either he's not involved at all in the slightest, or the involvement that he has is not because he actually killed anybody. Know what I mean? If he's involved in this, I think he's involved in. I don't know. Like, could you imagine hypothetically? I'll just throw this out here, right? Hypothetically, if Brian is some kind of CI undercover, whatever the case may be, if he got a job working undercover doing any of his cloud-based forensics bullshit in the area, okay? If he was hired on the low to do stuff like this, on the low, and you do have one or two officers who attempted to say frame, because that's a word people like to use, right? Why would there be a frame job against this person? But could you imagine if you did frame him? If you're one of the idiots who tried to frame him and you realize after you framed a fucking informant? Can you imagine you framed a cop? You framed an undercover. How do you get yourself out of that? I mean, I don't know. I find it very hard to believe you're going to keep somebody this long for this long. It is a frame job. I mean, I feel like Hitler would have been presented with something by now, but maybe that's what these hearings are all about coming up, the tomorrow and day, I forget which day. So, I don't know what's going on here, but exactly, Tom. Either a patsy, part of the investigation, I'm not sure. It's just, this is just, my brain saying that because the math isn't mathing. Something's not adding up. Maybe Ellie is just hiding their I don't know. A lot is the problem, Jack. It's kind of the problem, Jack, is that because it doesn't make sense to me that you would leave his defense to think there's no connection if you and the feds know there is one. Or if you realized after there absolutely is no connection. Maybe there is no connection. And you realize later on, like, holy fuck, even after we dug through all of his shit, his Amazon, his Google, we went back, They went back 6 years into one of his accounts. Found no connection at all. But the feds had something. The feds had his name, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could be Sky, right? I'm not sure. It's very, very strange, Kara. I agree. It's very strange. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I remember hearing her say that. I feel like there was a hearing, or maybe it was in a document chosen by law enforcement. He was chosen. Maybe it was Masseth. I feel like I remember hearing that, though. I just don't remember where so much up until this point. I'm going to stop sharing this for a minute, though, because yeah, so, today wasn't too much of a snarky day. Today was more me just getting my thoughts out of my brain, and there's something that's been really bothering me when it comes to the dates, of things. Initially, I thought Reddit was first. Reddit wasn't even first. Tower dumps and Snapchat were first. And Mowery believed that information regarding the crimes of the homicides was going to be in their own Snapchats. That's interesting. I could see if you're looking at someone else's Snapchats because you believe information pertaining to the crime of homicide or information regarding the crime of the homicides would be in someone else's Snapchat, perpetrator or something. But what would make you think that any of the 4 victims would have information pertaining to the homicides in their Snapchats? Furthermore, why would you need a Snap 2 Two separate Snapchat warrants, and one's only for Maddie. The other ones are separate from hers. Know what I mean? Kind of weird. Weird that we have two Snapchat warrants served on the exact same day, but for Maddie's, it's separate. And yet in both, he says that he believes information regarding the crimes of homicide are going to be in those Snapchats. Why would that be? What information in the victim's Snapchats would pertain to the homicides? Anyone? Jeff? I want someone who thinks guilty to tell me information in their Snapchats would have led them to Brian, and what information in those Snapchats would be related to the homicides if they're on the victim's accounts. Know what I mean? Because Lawrence Mowery is saying, when he's applying for these warrants, information related to the crimes of homicide are going to be in the victim's Snapchats. Why would that be? Whose Snapchat account? It's interesting, Maddie's has a separate. Maddie has a separate Snapchat that they were looking into. Sometimes it's photos, sometimes it's videos, sometimes you can save them. Usually Snapchat, they're supposed to disappear after a certain amount of time, but people screen record and screen grab them all the time. Okay, well, Jack, I don't know. Garrett is a joke, in my personal opinion. Now, in fact, the Garrett discovery was relevant in this case, we wouldn't see it. We wouldn't even know about it. If the Garrett discovery was relevant evidence in this case, it wouldn't be public. We wouldn't know about it. There's a gag order. The Garrett discovery is a joke. If I remember correctly, Garrett didn't have any of the phone numbers or the emails correct. And we know that based on the grand jury subpoenas and the motions to suppress, now that we know exactly which accounts they were looking into for Brian. Garrett didn't have any of them correct, so sadly, I think the Garrett discovery is about as reliable as Brett Payne's affidavit. You could take the Garrett discovery and Payne's sworn affidavit and chuck them both in the fucking fire pit, in my opinion. That's where they belong. They're not relevant. I think the entirety of Payne's PCA is the subject of a Franks motion. And if Garrett was relevant, the state would have hired him to be a rebuttal for Cy Ray. And they're not going to do that. Because Garrett would have had to... Cy is the expert. There is nobody that can rebut Cy. It's going to be very hard for someone to do that. Garrett, Mowery, all of these people... they would have trained on the software created by Cy Ray. Right? They're all trained in the shit Cy created. So, good luck, you know. As far as I'm concerned, Garrett is absolutely irrelevant. There's nothing in Garrett that's relevant, which is why Garrett is not a part of this case. Why his discovery is not a part of this case. It's not under seal. It's not evidence in this case. So, you know, I get it. A lot of other creators want to hype up Garrett and his discovery, but I mean, it's not even correct. So, Anyways, it's very, very interesting when you really go back and you look at everything. Um, for whatever reason, Lawrence Mowery, who's applying for all these warrants, believed, based on what he learned from the 13th to right around the 22nd, we'll even extend it from the 13th to December 1st. It would appear everything Lawrence Mowery and law enforcement learned led them to believe that the phone accounts and the Snapchat accounts of the victims in this case were going to be where they would find information relating to the crimes of homicide. So that's very, very interesting. And, if it's not interesting to you, that's okay. But, it's interesting to me. The dates, the times, when feds were doing things, parallel to when MPD was doing things. Feds are getting subpoenas for things parallel to when MPD is putting in warrants. And it would appear that what exactly related to the crimes of homicide is going to be in the victim's Snapchat account. I need someone to answer that question. What information would be in their Snapchats related to the crimes of homicide? Right? It's just my brain asking questions. No facts here. I don't know shit. Just me asking questions. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Tonka, wouldn't doubt it. I mean, at this point, anything is possible, right? Would not doubt anything at this point. I don't know. It's just how my brain is looking at the dates of things when they're getting things returned, and then the thing that's being returned, what they're doing next. So step 1, step 2, step 3. When you kind of go back and you look, step 1, step 2, step 3, it would appear, for whatever reason, step 1, tower dumps, T-Mobile warrant, right? And then immediately from those tower dumps and the T-Mobile warrant getting returned, they're going straight to the victim's Snapchats. And they're saying that information related to the crimes of homicide is going to be in the victim's Snapchat accounts. We have Kaylee being named with redacted others, and then Maddie has her own separate warrant for her Snapchat. And that's early. That's November 16th, if I remember correctly. I just brought the document up. We all looked at it. I think it was the 16th, if I remember correctly. Hey, Swamp. How you doing? Oh, my goodness. Hi, Swamp Rose. Thanks for being here. So, yeah, maybe some of you could also do the same thing. If you're a doc nerd like me and you're a date nerd, just kind of go look at the dates and look at the docs and read the language. Within 3 days, Mowery knew the Snapchat contents was going to be where he would find information related to the crimes of homicide. And he lists Kaylee and Ethan, but then redacts the other names and then does a separate warrant for Maddie on her own. So that's interesting. Oh, well, thanks, Swamp. I'm not really breaking down documents today. I'm just kind of doing a data dump of my brain. I'm dumping all of my garbage in my brain on everyone here today. Musical Contessa, good morning. You get what I'm saying, right? Oh, the alleged group messages. Right, the group chats. The group Snapchats, PFox. Thank you. Yeah. I don't know what they're doing. I just know that within 3 days of this crime happening, them doing their quick little tower dump, right, and getting someone's T-Mobile warrant, Okay. They are saying to themselves, oh shit, information related to the crimes of homicide is going to be in the victim's Snapchats. And we can't even say just victims because we have Kaylee and Ethan named with redacted others. But then Maddie is separate on her own. So I don't know. I just don't know. It's very, very, very strange when you look at the dates. Okay. And in my opinion, it would appear that they had his name before IGG. I don't think IGG is the origin as much as the defense. It is. I don't think it is. If the feds were getting subpoenas for his accounts beginning of December, right? They're already getting stuff for his accounts in the beginning of December before he even left Washington. Then they had his name very early. But for whatever reason, they're fine with the defense thinking IGG is the origin. That's weird. Very, very weird. So I don't know. That's just my brain today. I gave you guys my little data dump. I don't know. I could drop the link if somebody wants to come up. I think I got it all out of my brain for now. If you disagree with me or if you want to, that's fine too. I just want someone to, he had his name on the 13th. Well, yeah, according to, right, Christy. That's when they were swirling his name around. But it would appear that the feds were doing a subpoena for his Amazon like December 6th, something like that. First week of December. So I don't know. If the feds were investigating him as a damn serial killer or whatever, if that's what they believed, right? I don't think that's the case, though. It's part of me that, swirling his name around, right? Just like the discovery is swirling around us like a snow globe, Masseth said. Everything's fucking swirling. It's an interesting word they keep using. Swirling all around us, So, I don't know. I think that this week is going to be very, very interesting. I think we're going to learn a lot. I can't wait to see who these subpoenas are for. I did see on the case summary page something about out-of-state witnesses attending via Zoom or being able to testify via Zoom or whatever, but I don't know if that's for the closed hearing or the one that's public. Because I could only see it in the case summary page. So I'm not even sure if those out-of-state witnesses who are testifying are for the closed hearing or for the public one. Not sure. So, motion to suppress Google. Thanks, Eddie. See, I knew somebody would find it for me. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate you. Yes, talking about. What's the date on that, Eddie? What's the date they're claiming the LE got into his Google? Motion to suppress the Google warrant for BK, and in the warrant, Ellie was using this Google warrant to obtain phone data from a single decedent. Right. Yes. So now, when you go and you look at that, right, because that was the other thing, the date, if you don't mind, Eddie, what is the date that they put in the warrant for his Google? Does it say that? I could not remember if the defense discloses the date that the Google warrant was applied for. Either way, isn't it interesting? They used Brian's Google to get the phone data for a single decedent. Isn't that interesting? And the reason that I think that's interesting is because I know a lot of people immediately went for Kopaka. And I'm not going to lie to you, I don't think that's who it's related to. Just my personal opinion. That's why the date is very important in that Google warrant. Okay. January 3rd. He obtained Google warrant 1 on January 3rd. Yeah, but when did the feds get Brian's Google? That's what I'm getting at. Somewhere in that note, the feds were the ones using this Google warrant to obtain location, phone information on a single decedent. Okay? And I know a lot of people were like, holy shit, it's got to be Brent. Even I thought so too. It's got to be Kopaka. Holy shit, it's the only... Nope, I don't think that's what it is. If you look, it's very interesting that one of the victims in this case is calling her ex over and over and over and over and over and over. He's not answering. And then one call goes out from Maddie's phone. And then those two phones are never utilized again, but within just a couple minutes of those two phones never being utilized again, he's leaving Moscow. I mean Pullman. Within just a couple minutes. Right? But he's not showing up in the tower dumps. So that's interesting. Why would you be using Brian's Google to obtain phone data information on a single decedent? It's the location of a single decedent, by the way. I'm going to go find that document right now. Motion to suppress Google. Let's see. Give me 1 second because I'm going to find it. Single decedent. I know it's in here. All right, here we go. I'm going to share this with you. Sorry, had to go find it. I was in another screen. Let me share this. Thanks, Eddie, by the way, so much. Appreciate you. I knew it was in one of these things. So, that's how you know Garrett. And I'm glad that we found this. This is how you know the Garrett discovery is incorrect. Okay, friends? For anybody listening to Garrett discovery, right? These are all the emails. As you can see, Google account with the email. It shows you like Brian's email, right? It shows you these are the emails that the feds were getting information on. Okay. And warrants for. None of these, if I remember correctly, not a single one of these Garrett had. I could be wrong, but I don't think Garrett had any of these. So let's get down here. This is what I wanted to get to. It says the information in the warrants was cut and pasted from an affidavit originally bearing the signature of Moscow Police Department Sergeant Blaker, at other times Corporal Payne, and now Mowery. The Google specific information in Google Warrant 1 referenced the United States, okay, look, right here, the United States and government, as well as search of a phone for a single decedent, i.e., looking for the location of a single decedent. Okay? What exactly in Brian's Google? In the warrant, they're referencing the United States and government. And they're also referencing the search of a phone for a single decedent, i.e., looking for the location of a decedent. Okay? Let's think about this. Why would they think that Brian's Google is going to give them information on the location of a decedent? It's okay, I'm going to help you. Are we absolutely sure no one was picked up and brought to a hospital? I'm just throwing that out there. Are we absolutely sure that no one was picked up? It's very strange, the language. And this isn't the language that even the defense is saying. This warrant for Google Warrant 1 is very strange. The language is very strange because they're referencing the United States and government, as well as the phone for a single decedent, i.e., looking for the location of a decedent. And this is why people went insane saying Kopaka. Even I did. I said, well, there you go. United States and government. Makes sense, right? Military. I mean, that's, to me, it was the obvious. But now there's, a part of me that's thinking, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Looking for the location of the decedent. The location of a decedent. That's interesting. I just want to know, are we sure no one was picked up? Are we sure? Because it's so weird to me that within just a couple minutes of her last call going out is when allegedly his phone picks up. He allegedly leaves Pullman, right? And then we have someone claiming it's okay. I'm here to help. I'm going to help you. I mean, I don't know. It's very, very strange. It's very, very strange tracking device. Yeah. There you go. PFOX, right? They believed that his Google, for whatever reason, was going to produce information regarding the location. They are looking for the location of a decedent. Why would they be looking for the location of a dead person in his Google? I need someone to explain to me how that would even be possible. How his Google would lead you to the location of a decedent, the location of a dead person. We're not saying, it doesn't say the location of a dead person's phone, the location of right? Their iPhone, their Android, whatever. His Google is not being used to obtain someone's device, a dead person's device. His Google is being used to obtain the location of a decedent. That's very interesting. And who's that decedent? Know what I mean? I can't be the only one who reads language like this and says, what the fuck? What do you mean? A single decedent. The location of a single decedent in his Google? Right? Very interesting. Let's go back over here and look at this. See if we can find some dates here. Yeah. Because in Google Warrants 2 and 3, what they do is they remove the United States reference to the United States and the government. So in the first warrant, they're saying, hey, we need this information because United States and government, and we're also looking for the location of a dead person. But then when they go back for Google Warrants 2 and 3, they remove the language that references, hey, the United States and government and that single dead person. Yeah, we're going to take that out. Interesting. Google Warrant 2, January 24th. A new email is referenced, having been found in Google Warrant 1. Also added was a high probability a VPN was identified in Google Return 1323. For Google Warrant 3, a new email is incorporated. Okay. Now, go down here. Maybe she'll give us a couple of more little nuggets. Because I feel like there was a date in here. Yeah. Yeah, this is where it talks about it is not the results. It is not that the results of IGG sped up the investigation. Instead, they focused the investigation on Mr. Koberger, a person whose only connection to the case was his mode of transportation and the shape of his eyebrows. It's got to be Jay Logsdon writing this. I could have sworn, though, somewhere in here there was a date regarding the first. Notice they didn't include the date of the first Google warrant, or am I crazy? But did she not reference that here? She gives us the date of the second and the third. Oh, she only gives us the date for the first. Interesting. Sorry. My brain just didn't want the dates. Arrested on the 30th. Many warrants were executed. January 3rd is when they began work on the Google warrant. Okay. Plus 2 phone numbers. Google Warrant 1 is on January 3rd, a search warrant for all data available in a Google account in connection with the email brianchristopher1994 at Gmail plus 2 phone numbers and 1 IMEI. Google Warrant 2 on January 25th. Right here. all data available in a Google account in connection with this second email. No specific nexus is mentioned in the second warrant for the new email account other than it was identified. On February 24th, almost a month later, he obtains warrant 3. This is all prior grand jury stuff. Secret grand jury stuff. This is what feds were doing. Mowery obtained Google warrant 3 seeking all data available in relation to Mr. Koberger. No reference is made in the affidavit between Koberger and this email. Google warrant 3 adds the email account BK5781 at DeSales without explanation. The warrants have no limiting language in the search and no justification for duplication. Here it is. That's what I was looking at. Google warrant 3 return, signed by Payne, March 14th, 2023, references a warrant return only for the wrong email. Interesting. Also signed by Payne, references this email and this email, but the return or receipt inventory report nothing about the third email. It's particularly noteworthy because email communication between Mowery and Google on January 4th referenced Google not producing data on non-personal accounts, i.e. DeSales. Mowery indicates they, DeSales, are going to be able to help us with their end of the process, so that should be taken care of. Yet, BK7781 DeSales found its way into Google warrant 3 without any nexus or explanation on February 24th. Interesting. So you got Payne here for whatever reason. Mowery's doing the warrants, but then Google warrant 3. The return is signed by Payne, right? And Payne here is referencing a warrant return for the wrong email. Then he also signed by Payne. He's referencing this email that is the wrong email. Okay. But the return or the receipt and the inventory report nothing about this DeSales email. And it's because DeSales has already messaged back Mowery to say, we're not going to produce the data on a non-personal account. So isn't it very interesting that the information from these warrants is what led them to believe? Think about this. Google warrant 1, they are referencing the United States and government, as well as the search of a phone for a single decedent. They're telling the application for this Google warrant, they're saying the search of the phone. They are looking for the location of a single decedent via his Google. I can't, I'm going to harp on this shit. I cannot be the only one looking at this saying what is happening here. Okay. Single decedent in his Google. The location. Amy Conway, hi, how are you? Sorry if I missed you. I was reading in another window. Granny Annie is traveling again. Oh, hello from Baja. Oh, well, hey now. I hope it's warm and sunny where you are, girl. We got snow, snow, snow. Nothing but snow. Yeah, Mercy Cat. Google Maps or a search of specific destination. Yeah, that's what may be. That's what I'm saying. They're using his Google to get the location of a decedent. I don't understand that. Right? How would he know the location of a decedent? Why would that be in his Google? That's my question, right? Or why would they believe that? I don't know. It's very, very strange. It's very strange. Mm. Yeah, and the first warrant, Tonka, well, that's what I mean. Whatever they got back on that first warrant was enough for them to go back in for their second. And when they went in for their second, they removed the language referencing the United States government in a single decedent. They took that language out. So that's interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure. Could they be trying to connect him to I have no idea. Emma, I doubt it. I don't know, though. I mean, could be. I have no idea. Yes, he was. Caden was he was the president of, what's his face, this frat there. Same frat that Kaylee's brother was in. Hunter Johnson, all of them. He was the president of that frat, if I remember correctly, but he was also president of their little school paper there. He was the head, like, editor or some shit. Yeah, it's been a while since I've looked up anything. He didn't die in Moscow, though. Caden didn't die in Moscow. Caden died in Washington. Caden did cover the case. He was covering it for the school paper. He also had his own tip line where people could send tips in and stuff like that, yes. But he did not die in Moscow. He died in Washington, just to clarify. Yeah, it could be need some Z's. I mean, yeah, it could be they're referencing the United States government, right? Yeah, they're referencing the United States and government and a single decedent. I initially thought Kopaka too, not going to lie to you. I said, well, holy shit, there you go. United States government, single decedent. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, wait a minute. If you're like a Fed informant or something, you'd have to reference the United States government. And then if one of your Fed informants ended up dead, they would be considered a decedent, right? I don't know. You could be right, though, need some Z's. I mean, at this point, I don't know anymore. All I know is that it's very, very strange when you look at things. There is no proof when they took it up. It looked fake. What looked fake? All right. Maybe I missed something in chat. I don't know what you meant. Oh, okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, if he is dead, they're saying it. Single decedent. If it pertains to him, they know he's dead. But they would also know the location of him. He was killed in a SWAT standoff, allegedly, right? So they'd know his location. This is the location of a single decedent that, in my opinion, I don't think is Brent. Because they knew Brent's location. Right? If he was actually killed in a SWAT standoff in his apartment, then that's not the location of a decedent they're looking for in his Google. In January. This is warrants they're getting in January 2023. This is after arrest. They're digging through his Google to get location of a single decedent. That's very interesting. So yeah, I know there's a lot of you smarty pants here, right? Especially like Swamp Rose, Audrey, all of you wonderful, wonderful people here who, Mercy Cat, you're all a bunch of smarty pants, right? Let it marinate. Think about it. Read it. Go look at it when you have time. And just kind of, look at the dates. Look at the way everything was done, the order in which it was done, not only by feds, but by MPD. When you look at some of the documents. Kane, what's going on? How you doing? Thanks for being here. I'm about to end it, though. I'm about to be donezo. Yeah. I don't know. Need some Z's because these are warrants they're going for in January. These are all warrants done January through February. So Google warrant 1, 2, and 3 are all being done January through February. And in the first warrant, they're including language that says United States, government, and the location of a single decedent in his first Google warrant. And then whatever that information returned when they went for their second and third Google warrant, they removed the language of United States, government, and single decedent. So, it's very interesting that they believe in January into February, his Google is going to give them information for the location of a single decedent. So, I don't know who that is, but it's very interesting. And these are just some of the weird questions that go through my brain. you know? So, yeah. Angel, how you doing, darling? Thanks for joining. So, yeah, today wasn't a very snarky day. It was just me kind of dumping some things out of my brain here and looking at a few things. If you want, you can go back and watch replay. Hopefully the audio wasn't too bad. And Eddie, thank you for your help. Appreciate you. I knew it was in one of these documents. So, yeah. Anyways, these documents are still available on the Cases of Interest website. If you want to go print them out, read them yourselves, mark them up, look at them. It's just interesting when you look at the dates. Go look at what Moscow police was doing when they started applying for warrants, then line everything up with grand jury subpoenas and what feds were doing. And it would appear they had Brian's name very, very early. They were obtaining information on him very, very early. And for whatever reason, what's been turned over in the discovery, his defense believes, well, IGG is the origin. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. So it's going to be a wild week. I will be live streaming the hearing this week, but it's going to be like we did the last one. I live stream it with no interruptions or anything because I just want to be able to have the hearing uninterrupted, and then we can go back and review after. So I will be live streaming it here on this channel just so that we have it uninterrupted. But I'm not going to be doing any commentary on it till after. So it does sound like Brent's being referenced. I agree. Annie, Granny Annie, I agree with that statement. I did from the jump. Thought, okay, holy shit, it's got to be Brent, but I don't know. I've always thought maybe Brent's the relative on the family tree that they keep asking about. That his defense team was so interested in knowing about who's this relative on the tree that was in the area at the time, right? I have no idea, though. It's all pure speculation. We have no clue. I'm not going to pretend I do know because I don't. But it is very interesting when you look at it all. It's going to be very interesting to learn if something on this tree, there's someone on this tree that, in my opinion, when it comes to the IGG and when it comes to the tree and all of that, it's my very strong opinion, and I've said this quite a few times. If Brian and his family, did their own ancestry at Christmas, allegedly, a couple years ago, right? It was like Christmas of 2021. The family allegedly all did their own DNA kits. Okay. If that's true, well, then Brian already knows who's on his tree. Okay. He would already know his ancestry. He would already know what relatives popped up on the tree. He would know if he has relatives in Idaho, Washington, Nevada, Oregon, Montana, Utah. He would know because he did his own ancestry, you know? So it's just my opinion, me spitballing the way that my brain works is, if in 2021 he already knew his own ancestry, and then they're like, hey, we got your DNA, we did this IgG tree, we did this with it. It's my very strong opinion that the tree is exculpatory, which is why the state didn't want the defense investigators looking at it. That's just my opinion. My opinion is the IgG tree itself is exculpatory, which is why they didn't want. They were like, no, it's fine. We're not going to use it. We're not. Don't worry. We have his buccal swab. We're going to use that instead. You know what I mean? And Judge John Judge there did allow the defense investigators access to the IgG, to the information. The investigators were allowed access to it. So if you're Brian and you already did your own stuff in 2021 or whatever, and you know your tree, and then the state's trying to hide this tree, and you've got Bicca Barlow and some of the defense experts saying, no, we need the tree, right? We need to compare trees here because this motherfucker already has his own tree. He knows who's on his tree. Okay? You guys get where I'm going here? If they either did a tree or they didn't. The point that I'm getting at is if they did do a tree, my guess is the reason they didn't want these defense criminal investigators to look at it is because it would be determined to be exculpatory. If he has his own tree. You understand? If the tree produced by Othram or whoever the private person is that made the tree, what if the tree doesn't match his? Then what? Whose ancestry would be correct? Whose DNA tree would be correct? Just saying. If his whole family did their own shit, they know who's on the tree. They already know who's on the tree. Right? And it would make sense that Bicca Barlow back in the day saying, well, yeah, give us the tree so we could compare. Let's compare your tree to his. Because him and his family already know their ancestry. They already have it. It's my very strong opinion, whatever the state did or feds did or whatever this IgG is, it's exculpatory. It's why they didn't want the criminal investigators having it. Because once you start digging into it, and once you start, like Bicca Barlow is very insistent about that first putative relative on the tree identified. Because you have to have, who did you start with? Third cousin, great-grandparent? Who did you start with on the tree? There's a starting point. Which relative did you start with? Furthermore, which putative relatives on the tree were in the area at the time of the crime? That's what they wanted summer of 2023. That is what the defense DNA experts wanted that tree for. And they wanted that IgG information for. Because they wanted to know what list of putative relatives on his tree were in the area at the time of the crime and how that putative relative was ruled out, was excluded as a suspect. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm hoping the IgG is all public. He wants it public. He has a right to have it public, and it should be. So that's my opinion on that. Hopefully Hitler makes everything public. It's the defendant's right to have everything public if that's what they want, and you should give it to them. You can't seal a suppression hearing anyway. That would be in violation of the Constitution, but we'll see. Either way, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. We're at almost 2 hours here. It's a Monday. It's a snow day where I am. So if it's a snow day where you are, go enjoy it. Maybe make some chili, make some soup, make some tea, make some hot cocoa. Yeah. And go try to enjoy your day. We're going to have a very busy week, and I have a feeling we're going to learn lots of brand new information this week that maybe is likely going to blow our minds. So buckle up, friends. I hope everybody has an awesome day. Thank you, Swamp Rose, Eddie, Mods, Audrey. I know you were here. Kane, Twiz, if you were listening. Thanks, darling. Love you, Twiz. P Fox. Thank you. Kara. Everyone. Angel. Musical Contessa. Suzanne B. I hope everybody has an awesome day. James, Tonka, Ro, Granny Annie. All right. You guys have an awesome day. We'll see you again later this week. It's going to be a big week. Buckle up. Okay? Yeah, buckle swab up. That's right, Angel. Buckle swab up. What if? Yeah, hi. How you doing, What if? Sorry, I'm out. You'll have to catch it on the replay, friend. Hope you have a great day, though. What did I just see? Something about if you have them by the gonads. Well, oh, yeah, I know, right, Suzanne? I don't know why. Wait, what? Why wait? What do you need me to wait for, Kane? Hello, Twiz. How are you, darling? I knew you were listening. You usually are. So anyways, what do you need, Kane? Why do I need to wait? You're not keeping me here for 3-4 hours today, friend. I won't do it. One of you guys can go live. Kane, Twiz, one of you go live instead. And I'll come hang out in your chat instead. How about that? Didn't even know I was live. Sure you didn't. I know you were listening the whole time. But anyways, yeah, you guys have an awesome day. And it's going to be a busy week. Buckle up. And then somebody go ahead and let me know, because Twiz hasn't been able to answer me this question, and I've been asking for a long time now. I need to know exactly how Brian's Google Warrant 1 is going to give them the location of a single decedent. And I want a whole video about it. Okay? Okay, someone? For fuck's sake, Fitziana? Anyone? Swamp? Twiz? Kane? Okay? I need a video. I need to know. I need it explained to me like I'm 3. Exactly how his Google is going to give you the location of a single decedent. That's the question, Twiz, darling. How is his Google going to give you the location of a single decedent? Okay. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Agent Orange is official. And hopefully we can finally get back to some kind of normalcy. But anyways, yeah, big ups to Agent Orange. You missed, motherfuckers. And whether you like it or not, he is your president. So yeah, congratulations, Agent Orange. Happy Inauguration Day. Hope everybody has a great day. And I will, decedent, Kane. Single decedent. That's a dead person, darling. Kane. They believed Brian's Google warrant. They did Google Warrant 1. It referenced the United States and government, as well as the search of a phone for a single decedent, i.e. looking for the location of a decedent via Brian's Google. But yeah, All right, I'm out of here, friends. I hope you guys have an awesome day. I'm going to stop sharing that. Appreciate every single one of you. Really do. The channel is growing. Comments are awesome. Everybody's been so kind for the most part. And yeah, so I appreciate every single one of you. If you're hitting that like and you're subscribing and you're sharing, I just want to say thank you. And all of you hitting up the Cash App and, contributing to the Star Beast Fund, you rock. Appreciate all of you. So everybody have an awesome day, and I'll see you later this week. Bye.